people have no idea what I am when I walk down the street in Ashland like this. I've been asked if I'm an imam, if I'm a Muslim, if I'm a Jewish rabbi. People just have no idea. They have no concept. They haven't seen it. And this is, of course, a challenge for us. When you say to someone, if you would tell someone that you're Orthodox, what do they often say? What do you hear?
Orthodox Jew.
Oh, are you an Orthodox Jew?
Yeah, you gotta make sure you tell them you're a Christian Orthodox.
Right. You got to say, I'm an Orthodox Christian. Right? When people say rabbi to me, I grab my cross and I hold it up and I look at them. And they look at me and say, why are you holding up your cross? I'm not a vampire. And there's just a disconnect there. I mean, there's just no categories for what this is. So when you tell people, I'm an Orthodox Christian, do they know what that means? Most of the time? Most of the time, no, right? They have no idea what that is. Let me ask you, and where are some of your parishes? Where in the U.S. are you? Are you all from kind of this diocese in the west here?
Yes.
Okay. What are some of the cities that you're from? Seattle, Portland,
San Leandro.
Oakland. Okay. You know, so these are places, most of them, where there are Orthodox churches, right? There are some Orthodox churches, but people are still completely oblivious of what that is. And I continue to insist that part of the reason for that is because of this Russian Orthodox, Greek Orthodox, Eritrean Orthodox. People have the innate feeling that this is not for me anyway. So when you say Orthodox, they kind of just bewildered and they have no idea what it is. However, there are ways that we can explain this. So the challenge is they have no idea what it is. The opportunity is that we now have the chance to introduce them to it in a good way. And to be a good example, and to show them what an Orthodox Christian is. This is the great blessing, right? Because they don't have any preconceived ideas. You heard about my upbringing and what I thought of Christians. This is how many Americans think of Christianity. They're sick and tired of it. They don't want to hear about it. As soon as you say Jesus, it's like, how many have been on an airplane? Right? Flying places. You come on the airplane, and one of the first things that happens is they go through the security things, right? They open the pamphlet and you know, they show where the seat belts are and all of that. Well, if you've been flying a few times, you stop listening to that. It's like, okay, here comes the security instructions, and you kind of just tune out and you kind of read what meals and what movies are on the plane instead. You know, you don't even pay attention anymore because you've heard it a million times. Americans are very much like that when it comes to Christianity. As soon as you say anything, they just close up because they're like, I've heard it all before. The opportunity that we have as Orthodox Christians is that Orthodox Christianity is different. And this is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. I live here in Ashland. Have you walked the streets at all in Ashland? Have you been allowed off the campus? Have you seen anything? Ashland is incredibly liberal and incredibly spiritual but not religious, as they call it. Very hippie-ish. You know, back in the 60s, this was the big place where all the hippies gathered, and you really see the effects of that today. There's crystal shops and New Age places all over the place. This is kind of how it is. So when I walk down the street and they start to ask me, what are you? And I say, I'm an Eastern Orthodox priest. The one thing that catches their interest there is not Orthodox or priest, but Eastern. Ooh, Eastern, huh? Because why? They're sick of Western religion. They're sick of it. And to them, Christianity is a Western religion. Well, newsflash, it is not. It never was. Right? So when you say Eastern Orthodox or Oriental Orthodox, guess what's going to happen? To these kind of people that are already fed up with Christianity, they're going to go, oh. And one of the first questions that you will get, that I bet many of you have gotten, is, So what's the difference between your church and whatever, other Christian denominations, Roman Catholics and so on? It's going to be incredibly important for us to be able to answer that question in a good way without judging other Christian brothers and sisters necessarily, but in a way that we show what is uniquely Orthodox. And we need to understand what the difference is. We need to understand what it is so that we can communicate it. And that we can communicate it in a way that is inviting to them. And to show them that this would be beneficial for you. This is not proselytizing, by the way. This is not trying to go out and convert people. But this is trying to invite people to understand how wonderful it is to come into union with Christ through His Holy Church. So, although we are challenged because we're different, it is also one of our greatest assets, is that people don't know much about Orthodoxy, so we have an opportunity to show them, to give them a good impression of it, and to invite them to experience it. St. Andrew, the first call of the apostles, which I kind of claim as my own patron saint, of course he said, "Come and see," to his brother Peter. Come and see. And this is very much what we can do as well. We can say, come and see, meet Christ. Come and see. You want to know what it is? You want to know what the difference is? You want to see something different? Do we dare to invite them to come to church with us? They're going to hate me. They're not going to talk to me after that. Well, you might have to stand next to them and help them a little bit and explain a few things. But it is a good thing, right? What we have as Orthodox Christians is an immense treasure that so many people long for. And they just don't know that it's there. All the questions that I struggled with as a missionary and as a Protestant, there are so many Protestant Christians that find themselves in the same place. Many have left the Christian faith altogether because they have not found answers to those questions. Orthodoxy has answers to those questions. Orthodoxy is the answer to all of those questions because Orthodoxy is Christ. And we are doing them an incredible disservice not allowing them to see the treasures that God